Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the B segment of episode 26 of The Loud House, Homespun. We begin this segment with Lincoln fulfilling his chore of taking out the trash, as you may recall from Chores in Peace. And while he's fulfilling his chore, he overhears Lori complaining about how the house is falling apart. This is because she's in the bathroom making preparations for Bobby's arrival, as the two of them are planning to study some school material together. And the faulty characteristics of the house present themselves while Lori is making said preparations. Lincoln admits that Lori has a point, and he recounts some memories of the house's faulty characteristics. I should also mention that the flashbacks presented in this segment are not recycled scenes of previous segments. They're actually newly constructed scenes for this particular segment. So it's not an example of those flashback episodes that recycle footage to save money. As Lincoln brings the trash out to the curb, the mailbox falls on his foot, which adds another item to the list of faulty characteristics of the house. Although Lincoln is surprised about it falling this time because he didn't feel any wind, Lisa happens to be outside as well, and she has a weather device with her. She informs Lincoln that wind speeds are actually picking up as of right now at the moment, and she suspects that this means a storm is on the way, more specifically a tornado. Later on, Patchy Drizzle, the weatherman from Snowboard, is on the news channel, and he confirms that right now there's a tornado watch in the Royal Woods area. The parents inform the siblings to take shelter in the basement while the parents themselves try to secure the TV antenna on the roof. In the basement, Lisa assures the rest of her siblings that a tornado watch is not the same as a tornado warning, and even if a tornado does appear, most buildings are capable of handling pretty strong wind speeds. Luann makes a joke about how their house wouldn't be able to handle a pretty slow wind speed, and this is actually one of the Luann jokes that the other siblings find funny. And the rest of the siblings admit that if the tornado did destroy their house, it would mean that they could have a more improved house. And they start to recount some more memories of how the house had some faulty characteristics. Whether it be the time when Bobby first met the rest of the Loud family, Lori introduced him to the rest of her family, or thin walls or leaky walls. But as they recount more memories, they start to actually see some of the better qualities of the house. Like a flooding in the basement actually gave them a temporary pool for a while, or how slanted floors allow family members at the kids' table to pass food to family members at the adult table. Strangely enough, Lincoln is at the adult table, even though he got out of it in A Tale of Two Tables. Oh, and there was a time where there was a power out because of some animals chewing wires, and they recreate a pioneer experience, or a faulty air conditioner led to them having some snow inside the house, and they got to go ice skating indoors. And as they are recounting these new memories, the siblings admit that maybe they've been too hard on their house, and even with its imperfections, it does have good qualities to it. Finally, the parents enter the basement, having secured the TV antenna, and just in time too, because the tornado watch has now increased to a tornado warning, and we can actually hear the tornado outside. The family members all huddle together, and they take back the bad things they've said about their house, hoping it'll stay strong in this tornado. At long last, the tornado ends, and they all head outside to see the final results. As they're looking out on the front yard, a man on a bike rides by, and he thinks that the house really got hit hard by the tornado, but Lincoln clarifies it's always looked that way, and they wouldn't change it for the world. So after the family members rejoice that their house is safe and sound, they proceed to go back in. But the segment ends with the doorknob breaking as they try to enter. Now, this is another segment I really enjoyed. Now, at first, it sort of reminded me of A Tale of Two Tables in the sense that A Tale of Two Tables was kind of about the grass is always greener mentality, or how some people may not appreciate something until they lose it, or the possibility of losing something becomes a reality or close to a reality. And that was sort of the case here with the house, but again, it was executed differently, so it didn't feel like an exact retread of it. And sometimes I think it's okay to have a similar themes or morals or lessons, whatever you want to call them, if they're done in a different way. I think that's okay if they come in different flavors, and that was definitely the case here. And I thought it was a nice touching segment, especially because it is the last segment of season 1, so the B segment of the season 1 finale of The Loud House. It would make sense that the name of the show, The Loud House, be the focus, or it seemed appropriate to have the season 1 finale contain a segment dedicated to the namesake of the show, and I think they did a good job. Yeah, it shows you the Loud House isn't perfect, it has its faults, but it still has its charm to it, and overall, it definitely has it's brought a lot of good memories for the family members that they shared together. And that was another nice touch. I mean, the conflict of this segment was actually more a conflict with nature, a tornado, rather than between characters. So those are always kind of an interesting prospect where you deal with a conflict that doesn't have any antagonists in it. And it was I'm sure a lot of people might agree with me, but I can at least say, speaking for myself, I thought it was a nice touch how we had a segment that actually showed the Loud family members getting along with each other. They weren't, because while it's true, family members aren't always going to get along with each other, it is nice to show that, yeah, you can still get along with your family members and have good memories with them, and that's what we got here. And that was a nice touch. It kind of reaffirmed the intention of the Loud House is, yeah, you can have good memories with your family, and family's a powerful thing, and I felt that was very prevalent in this particular segment. Oh, and speaking of memories, I did think it was I have to give them credit. They didn't recycle any of the footage from previous segments. They actually constructed new flashbacks or memories, so I give them credit for that they went that extra mile. And it was nice we got to see a glimpse of how Lori introduced Bobby to the Loud family. We didn't get the whole story, but we still got some significant details about it, and I appreciated that. So, as for which segment I liked better, hard to say. I actually liked both the segments. I felt that the season 1 finale was overall a great way to close out the first season. So, yeah, I might call this one a tie. And there you have it. We've now discussed all the episodes, all the segments of season 1 of The Loud House on this channel. So that means we're ready to proceed with season 2. Take care, and until next time.